Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm Dylan Black, and joining me today on the couch is a merry Ashley Hobley.
So merry.
Oh, okay. A merry Ciaran Miucin.
I'm trying to find the chocolate I buried into this side of the couch on Christmas Day. Like, I left it
That's
there.
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
I left just,
we live in
know,
Australia, Ciaran. That's just unsanitary.
Well,
That's going to be melted by now.
It's just as long as it's buried in here, it'll like melt, but then reform into a new shape.
Yeah, that explains the ants I've been seeing around here, but
Well, no, it doesn't explain that. That's the spilled Coke that somebody left in the corner there.
A merry Cherie and Ciaran are also joining us.
Hello.
That's probably
Cherie,
Dylan,
that was far too
I
normal.
feel like
That
we
was
need
far too
some
normal.
consistency here.
Yeah, I'm the only one providing the consistency. Thanks.
That's true. What's your problem with consistency, Ash?
One week you call her Cherie Ciaran, another week you call her Shireen Henriquez.
No, I got told off that one time. Now it's been Cherie and Ciaran.
Okay.
Ash is about to get kicked off the show for bringing it up.
I
You can
know when
redact
to-
that other name that...
His name redacted.
Got told once, not going back. Today on the show, we're just going to be talking about 2018, really. We're just going to be talking about some of the biggest stories, our favorite gaming memories, stuff, things that happened in 2018. That's pretty much the entire topic of the show. But before we get into that, did anyone get anything good for Christmas or grab anything good off any Boxing Day of sales? Now, Ash, out of the 21 credit cards you got, did you buy anything or did everyone just get you everything you needed for Christmas?
I got one of those sweet EB gift cards, $50. So they'll go towards a new release sometime next year. My brother
I got $50 as well.
Yeah.
That's odd. Exact same. Exactly. And those cards are so rare.
It's just a nice round number. My brother got me one of those Spider-Man like loot box things for the video game that they were pushing around the release in EB. Yeah, so got a sweet
in it?
beanie and a notebook and
Ash, you don't
bag.
strike me as a beanie wearer.
no, not really. But
No, your head shape does not suit a beanie.
no, I look like yeah.
It's Kieran laying down the
take
truth
that.
bombs this week.
That's why, you know.
Yeah, there's an old Lee Mack joke from back. I remember back from my youth. It's like some people have got heads that make them when they wear a hat, they look like they're a cancer patient. Yeah, so
Wow.
Wow, this went to okay, I didn't mean for this
Got
to go
dark.
down this
Yeah.
path, but I'm not regretting anything right now.
yeah. And then the day after, I decided I need to get some stuff for my PSVR, and I bought Creed
Here we go.
VR.
You bought Creed
yeah.
VR?
Yeah.
I'm
Do you want
sure
a box?
that you
Sprint
could
on a
have
box?
asked.
Because you can sound like that guy I played online that one time.
Yeah. It was on sale. I got Sprint Vector, so I'll try that out soon. And then I need you to get Tetris Effect.
You're
you
buying
get
all
Beat
the games
Saber?
that involve so much exertion.
Yeah. You know, trying to justify the expense of buying this
Wait,
PSVR.
but did you avoid? Wait, do you already have Beat Saber, or did you avoid?
Yes, I already got
buying
Beat Saber.
You already got it. Okay, that's fine.
Can't you tell how buff Ash is now?
Yeah.
He's got Beat Saber.
I got Beat Saber. Been swiping to the KDA Popstars song that they got included.
That, yes. That's the one.
That's the one.
KDA. K
Yeah.
slash DA.
They mixed
That
up the colours. That was a
goddamn
nice touch.
What a song, Ash.
Yeah.
What a song. What a song. It's great. Anything else?
No, that was a bit. Yeah.
That's all right. You didn't go too hard then.
No.
I feel all right. I was expecting you to have brought everything that was on the sale on the PlayStation Store, but that's okay.
No. Yeah. It's restraint.
You're restrained for the moment. Okay. Ciaran,
Hi.
how'd you do? Christmas Day,
Well,
Boxing Day sales? What do you got for me?
I didn't do any Boxing Day sales. I don't think. Oh no, I did. I bought myself another copy of Overwatch.
What the fuck? Why? How? Why?
That
Just for another account because it was on sale, and I was like, I got some spare gift money here.
You know, you
I
just
managed
need one to put on the wall, just sealed in the box.
No,
you know, it could get
you
value at
just
one
need
point.
Another account to practice my Widowmaker on, or just do something different.
Why can't you
or
just
make-
do it on your
I just
account?
want to clarify.
Because
I just want to clarify
Because then
something
people
I've
go,
never
"Oh,
actually
you're
thought about.
shitty at." Is that
Yeah,
why?
You
exactly.
have to
So-
buy it
yeah,
to get
go for
another
it.
account every time.
Yeah. So yeah,
I've never put this together.
yeah,
I've
no. So
never
every time,
realised this.
every time I buy the game, or every time somebody buys the game, you put it on a different account.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
I suppose
no,
I'm just used to
Overwatch.
League of Legends mentality.
Couldn't
What's
you
your
just
Smurf?
set up
I don't know,
another
I'll make
account?
one.
No, because you
No,
have to
you
rebuy
gotta,
the game.
buy the game.
Oh, no, you
You got to
Otherwise,
rebuy the
I'm-
game. You cannot.
I forget that Overwatch isn't free to play.
No,
all the
it's
time.
not. It's not. It's
Not
still-
yet.
I always
still-
forget.
Yeah, it's still money.
Not yet.
Still money.
I mean, if
but
suckers
no, I
like
rebought
Kieran
that.
keep buying it several times, then they don't need to.
Exactly. It's like Skyrim. It's like Skyrim, but probably worse. Yeah.
So how many times you bought it?
I've got Overwatch 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, I have three.
I mean, that's not Nick
not
numbers,
too
so it's
bad.
okay.
No,
Yeah, Nick
it's
probably
not.
brought Destiny 2 more than you, so.
I haven't returned it. I think the returning it and then buying
You
it
can't.
again is much worse.
So wait, you've got. I assume you got a PC twice and console once. Is that what happened?
No, I have PC 3 times.
3 times. Why do you need 3 accounts?
One's my main, one's an alt account, and one's a Smurf account.
What the hell is a Smurf account?
A Smurf is
only
an
one that
account that's like way lower, so I can play with people that are like worse, like friends that are bad at the game, without forcing them to play at my level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had the exact same thing on League of Legends.
yeah.
I had
It's
two
very
Smurfs.
for these
Okay.
kind of competitive games. It's very normal to have multiple accounts. Like
Yeah.
it's part of the fun is like naming the accounts. It's so great.
Kieran's like, guys, it's fine. It's fine.
So if people
It's
want to
fine,
find
it's
you,
fine.
what's
I'm just stop making me overthink this. It's fine.
okay?
And I had an American Smurf.
No, I haven't done
Like
that
a
yet.
different-
I need a VPN if I want. Well, you don't need a different account for America here. You just need a VPN because it's Americas is the region, and then Oceania is
Yeah.
like a subsection of that region.
Yeah. Oceania is certainly a word.
It
What
is.
else? What else did you get? What else did you get though?
I
Apart from
got
buying
Chris Kringle was
What?
an Overwatch loot box, like an actual
Okay.
physical loot box from a family, like we do across. There's like between my family and our close friends' family, all the kids of the family just get each like we do Chris Kringle between ourselves.
Like Secret Santa.
Secret Santa. That's the other.
That's what
word for it.
confused me because you was like Chris Kringle and it took my brain a whole
Second to work out what I was talking about. That's-
Yeah, a couple seconds. I'm like, oh, Secret Santa. Okay, I got it.
And so got me an Overwatch loot crate, which I kind of freaked over and thought it was awesome, which has like both the Tracer and the May like Christmas pop vinyls, a little baby pop vinyl, and like a stocking. That's what they're called.
What's
A
the baby of?
The little baby one, Snowball, like May's little like robot friend that she has. It's him, but with like a little bow.
They were so cool, the
I thought you
Christmas
meant-
ones.
They are. They're pretty great. And then with the rest, so I used the gift card. What part of the gift card finished off over, like bought my other copy of Overwatch, and then the other half of that gift card finished off all my skins for this season's Overwatch season. So I have every skin now. It's a minor claim.
You
to
have
fame.
every skin in the game?
No, every skin from this season. I'm building it.
Oh
I have
my
there's a
God.
couple characters I've completed. Like there's Junkrat. Junkrat's done. I've got every skin for Junkrat. And then Blizzard will be like, hey, we put a new skin in. And I'll be like, fuck you, Blizzard. I'll do it anyway, but whatever. Yeah, I like skins in games. They're pretty cool.
Can I just want to pause right here just for a second because there's no other way I could fit this weird story into the show. And so, until now that you've brought up skins, I can fit it in nicely.
Excellent.
Even though I've had to preface this how I've brought this all in. So I was at work, right? This story all makes sense in a minute. And to get everyone excited, I think I'm going to have to reinstall League of Legends at the end of the story, right?
That makes me
that's
super excited.
That's the end. That's the end of the story. Now let me set you up to how we get to that point. How we get to that point is I'm at work. Now Cherie knows this story. I'm at work and this woman asked for 2 internet vouchers, right? For something I've never heard of, but it says adult on it, and I assume it is a porn site. And I'm just serving them, even though the entire time I'm thinking, lady, are you about to go home and have some virtual banging with these? What are we doing over here? Because they
Yep.
say like something adult on them. And I'm like, well, it says adult, so they must be for porn. But so they print out after she pays for them. They're two $10 vouchers. They print out, and then she fucking distracts me for like 20 minutes to half an hour talking about mobile modems and whatever else on the side. And in between all that, I have to serve someone else, and after like 10 minutes had passed, and not thinking the voucher's still sitting there, not ripped off fully from the printer. Of course, as I'm serving this person, I just do what I would normally if there's a random receipt sitting there. I rip them off and chuck them in the bin. And then the time comes, by the end of the day, she's like, all right, I'll just grab those vouchers 20 minutes, half an hour later or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, didn't I give them to you? She's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, motherfucker. So of course I just print 2 more vouchers out, give them to her. I then put $20 of my own money into the register to cover my ass because I could not be fucked dealing with my boss this week with losing $20. And then because I've already put the money in, I'm like, well, fuck, I might as well try and find these vouchers and find out what they're actually for and if I can use them. So I do find them. Searching for the whole bin. I've got them. They're sitting on my desk right now. And I found out one of the places I can use them on. The only place I could use them on from anything is apparently I can redeem them for league credit.
Couldn't you have just refunded them through the machine?
I was waiting for this other than the League of Legends. If you hadn't have already revealed that League of Legends was involved, I would have said Dylan's going to be watching some high-class porn.
Yeah, so I had to put the prefaces on because if I open the story with, I think they're for porn, and then I don't already have set up the League of Legends, but the story kind of does lead to them. But by the way, they're not for porn. They're mostly used for gambling sites, which is what the
Online gaming.
Comes in. But online gaming, yeah. But anyway, I think long story short, I'll probably have to install League again just to activate these cards. Which
Or
point,
start a
maybe I'll just
gambling
leave
addiction.
it on there. And I'll start it again. Like it's yeah.
I think it'll be safer if you start again.
Are there KDA skins out, Kieran? I bought those fucking skins, mate. Those fucking skins.
No, you just jump on and buy the KDA skins.
That's what I want. Yeah.
That's what you want? Yeah, just go get the
Yeah.
And then you'll have to play, and then you'll have to tell somebody which characters in the game you hate.
All of them.
All of them.
Never lets me live it down.
No. Just every game. I hate this character. I hate him. Just like, shut up. Tell me which characters you like, Dylan. It'll be easier.
The one I'm playing as long as I'm the only one playing as it. What else did you get for Christmas?
My parents gave me the subtle hint of running shoes to go outside. No, I asked for them. They were, I'm walking a lot more now, so I was like, man, Converse and Vans really aren't comfortable shoes to go out walking in. So I did that. That's not very gamey. And then
that at your
stay on
first
subject.
RTX, but
stay on subject, games. And then my sister got me tickets to go see Achievement Hunter Live in Melbourne at the end of January, which I'm pretty excited for. Should be good.
that is gaming
Can
related.
take your
It
business
is.
cards.
They play games. YouTube channel.
Don't
Pretty
go
cool.
off topic because Ash is there like a whip. He's like, get back on.
I spent my money
Nobody
on
wants to hear
Creed
about
2
running
VR.
shoes. This ain't running shoe couch.
Ash. I do. I want you to know I cared, Kieran. I want you to know.
Thank you.
that
Yeah, I
cared.
care.
All right.
Also.
What type of running shoes, Kieran?
They were Nikes. They were Nikes. You know?
What size?
I have big feet, so I think they were either 12 or 13.
The most important is what color were they?
They're like black with like a... Do you want me to get them for you and show the audience listeners? This wouldn't be... No.
No, we'll take a picture and we'll shove it in the show notes. You can do that.
Yeah,
right?
I'll take a picture. I'll put it in the show notes.
You really do have Snappy Arcade Couch Ash today. We'll take a picture, we'll shove them in the show notes. We'll make everyone happy.
He's
then.
so
You can see the
aggressive on
picture
this
shoot.
show. Do you remember Ash from like 18 months ago and just how quiet and just like how pleasing he was to everybody
Welcome
else
to
around
Pleasure
him?
Explosion. I love everybody. Flowers, yay.
Don't think it was
Arcade
quite
couch.
like that.
No, it is. It is. Ash is a different person. This couch brings things out of
Nowadays,
him.
I'll shove them in the show notes. Fuck you.
That's what this industry does to you.
The industry or
Makes
just
you
us?
defensive and aggressive.
No comment.
Was that it, Kieran?
I think that's in like chocolate and stuff. I think that was
What
it.
type
They
of
balance
chocolate?
out. Here's some running shoes and 20 billion grams of chocolate. Evens it out.
They
It'll
weren't
be
from
fine.
the same people. Like, come
Oh, okay,
on.
that makes more sense.
Come
I was
on.
about to
If
say,
they were
there's chocolate in the
in the
shoes.
shoe- to put the shoes on, you have to eat through the chocolate first.
Yeah. Chocolate wrapping.
All
yeah.
makes sense. All right. Tree,
Hello.
did you get anything for Christmas and or buy anything related to Boxing Day sales?
I got a fair few Christmas presents, although I feel like I got more because I was opening my 10-month-old son's Christmas presents, and that was like a mountain's worth. So in turn, when I think about it, I feel like I didn't get that much. But I also got an EB gift card, although I got $100.
Was it for $50?
It was $100. Ooh.
Get chopped on, boy!
But like the first thing that I went and bought that I knew I was going to get was the Pokeball Plus. So I can use it with my...
Plus.
Yeah.
You got the Pokemon
What for?
Plus.
You
Not-
really back into
Not
that
for
Pokemon,
Let's Go.
Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu or Eevee?
So for both my Pokemons, for Let's Go and for my Go, I'm very excited.
Primarily,
But
just for Go.
well, that was really the primary thing. Yeah, let's face facts here. Hashtag no addiction.
Have you at least used Let's Go like once with it?
I only got it like today, guys. Settle down.
Well, how much have you used it for Pokemon Go?
I haven't.
Okay.
Wow, what are you waiting for?
Gee whiz. Harsh crowd tonight, guys. Harsh crowd.
We've had hours.
I got the brand new Pikachu Pop,
That's cool.
which is really a cutie one. And from Dylan, he got me this really cool present, which was a signed concept art of one of my favorite games, Alice Madness. And there's a new one coming out. So that is super awesome.
Really?
Yes.
There's already been 2 of that series, right?
Yes.
How is there a third? This is like Darksiders all over again.
He's Patreoning it. And
Yeah.
everything. It's
Oh,
like the whole thing.
Patreoning it, right. Have you been on the Patreon, Cherie?
That seems an interesting choice for a game development.
So they've, like, in the past, I think they did Kickstarter for other games. But yeah, I'm excited. So that was a really cool present, and also gaming related. Thank you, Ashley Hobley. And
I didn't say anything.
He's like
it
art.
past
He's
the-
like
He's
art
fine
print.
keeping quiet because I didn't get
Keep
a
talking.
gift from Dylan.
See some company favoritism around.
And what else? I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but that was like my main present to myself. I got like some random stuff from my dad, like just family presents and whatever else. Lots of unicorn stuff. Don't think that's gaming related, so I'll just leave it off
it's
the
fine.
list
We talk
before I
about
get in
everything
trouble. But yeah, I did pretty good. My little son Cooper did really well. I feel like I got his presents because I got to open everything. I felt like a child again.
What was the best thing he got?
Gaming related.
Okay, what do you think is the best thing he got, and what did he like the most?
As long as it's gaming related.
Gaming related only, Cherie.
Yeah, okay, I got one. One of his favorite things that he got was a Winnie the Pooh bear. And this is gaming
Kingdom
related
Hearts. I
because
like
of
it.
Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts, yeah. Kingdom Hearts, yep, got it. And yeah. So, and he loves that. That's his favorite.
There you go. It was official
kid.
Kingdom Hearts Winnie the Pooh too. No, just to clarify. It was for sure definitely Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts.
100%.
Minor point. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I think I finally understand the story of Kingdom Hearts today, everybody.
You're full of shit.
No, I spent some time reading about it and watched a couple videos, and I think I'm on
Did you
board
really?
with it. With
you
the
really?
Roxases and the Soras and
You're
the
full of
Zemnis and the Aqua. I know all about the Aqua. She's a mad dog.
Aqua is a girl.
Yeah, so I said she's a mad dog.
Oh dear.
Fuck off.
No,
All
I
right.
understand. I'm enlightened.
Oh, very
What
good.
about you,
Well,
Dylan?
Yeah,
What did you get?
I was about to say, Cherie, also, what did you do today? That was gaming.
What did
related
you do?
And sale related.
What did you do?
Oh, I went and traded in my PlayStation 4 for a Pro, and I also traded my PlayStation 3 for a PS4 Pro.
Gone as well.
And it was on like a good deal, so it was awesome.
Welcome to the future.
I know.
Cherie.
Just
That
in
was
time for
exciting.
the
Soon you'll
PS5
be-
announcement.
Soon you'll
Yeah.
be only.
So now we're
download
trying
games
it
digitally.
again.
Yep, that's all right then. The Pro family.
The
Yeah,
Pro
well,
family.
I got a $50 EB game. So God, it was $100. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, you got me a Switch case.
Nice. What kind of
That's
Switch
gaming
case?
related.
Can we get a picture of it to
Like
put in the
all your-
description?
Most of your presents were gaming related, thanks.
There you go. I just showed the viewers.
It's black.
It's black. It certainly is.
It's stylish. I thought it could be game related. I really like the. I've always wanted the tablet from Breath of the Wild case. I think that looks really nice, but at the same time, I don't want to spend that much money on it. Looked
No,
expensive.
because you won't play your Switch unless they put Overwatch on it.
My Switch is probably the console I've played the most in the last 3 weeks.
What have you been playing?
Smash.
Really?
Yeah, I've just been playing a bunch of Smash.
Have you been playing it docked or on handheld?
Both. I
I'm
played
shocked.
it. It's handheld, and then we had Christmas Eve at work is like, do nothing day. And so I hooked up the Switch to the projector at work and just chilled out and played it. That was pretty good.
I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Next year we're playing Fortnite.
It's been good.
Yeah, it's only fucking Fortnite or anything. I don't think. What else did I get that was really? I got. Well, I mean, I got socks with Eevee on them. That's gaming related, I guess.
I got them for him, which is the laugh. Why the laughing?
I don't think I got anything else that was particularly gaming related, though. Did I?
You're asking me.
What else did you get? Give us a rundown.
Well, you know
What
everything
was,
I've got.
What was your Christmas haul? Give us the rundown.
Oh, you got
Non-game
you,
related.
you got the little Pikachu.
Oh yeah, what are they called? Nano block.
Ah.
Oh, nicey.
Peachy nano block. To which when my mum gave me this, and when I opened it, I was like, fuck. Last time I tried to do one of these, it was like a Gengar or a Snorlax or some shit, and I wanted to chuck it across the room because I found it so hard. I was like, Lego's good because it's not as tedious this. But then my mum pointed out to me the other night when I was complaining about it. I'm like, thanks, mum, but I'm going to fucking chuck this thing across the wall at some point. She was like, it's a level 1 Dylan. There's 5 levels on it. That's a level 1 one.
Oh, I thought it was a Pikachu,
like-
not a Pichu. Little
Nah, it's
Pichu.
Pichu. One.
Little Pichu.
So it should be even easier.
Yeah, hopefully.
Less details.
Smaller.
You know what's way
Smaller,
cooler
less-
than a Pikachu? Like a fully leveled like Pichu, and you haven't let it evolve. Like it's just cute death. You just kill everything with it. Man,
Yeah.
what a great
Well,
strategy.
Raichu sucks, so that's fine.
Yeah, nobody wants Raichu.
Older, ugly sibling is what Raichu is. Hashtag truth. But yeah, I think that's better. I didn't buy anything on. I went on Boxing Day because I just walked around town. It was just an excuse. It was an excuse to play Pokemon Go, really. But I had to look around the shops while I was before I had to go to work, and I got to crack some eggs. But I looked around. The only thing I saw EB Games had the Starlink bundle for like $30, and I was like, maybe because I might play that. I've been interested in it since they announced it, but I didn't want to pay full price or whatever. I thought about it, and I looked behind me at the line and went, nah, like that was not worth lining up to get fucking Starlink for $30. I don't know what would be worth lining up for the lines I saw for how long they were, but yeah.
Do you
Alright,
still intend on getting Starlink at some point before you close the segment?
before I close.
Before you close the segment off and move on.
Oh. It's like before you die, Dylan.
Before you close off the show for the final time.
Yeah, I might do.
Yeah, nice.
Depends. I feel like it could just be fun. It's kind of like a Lego game, I guess. Same sort of mentality, whatever. I go
Just
around,
with a stupid
fly some ships,
ship on your controller.
scan some planets. What's No Man's Sky Light is what it looks like. So
You can get it on
No
Switch
Man's
so you can get the Star
Sky
Fox
with
one.
an ending. Well, I thought about it because I'm like, if I get Starlink on Switch, but then I get the trophies on PS4, so it's a way up between do I like trophies or Starlink more? And I'm like, well, probably trophies. Let's be real. So it's probably that's probably what would end up happening. But yeah, any closing Christmas thoughts?
What a great season.
No,
Right?
what a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
yeah, good. Thanks, Ash.
I hope all of our listeners had a great gaming-related only Christmas. Anything non-gaming related, don't even talk about it to us. Just leave it out of your
Definitely
Twitter.
I mean, they can talk about it elsewhere.
Let's talk about 2018, the year that has been. Next week, though, you can look forward to us talking about what's coming in 2019. We're going to be talking about all our most anticipated games, consoles, because the PS5 may come out, all sorts of things like that. And then we'll be having a bit of a short break following that. Although in our short break, a pre-recorded episode will come out in which we'll be talking about our personal top 10 lists to coincide with the same week in which the Explosion Network's overall top 10 games list will be coming out. Information overload for you, but get back to what's happening right now. Let's look back at 2018 in gaming, favorite moments, some of the biggest news stories, all sorts of things like that. I put a video in the show notes. I don't know if everyone watched it. Usually one person, being Ash, says yes.
Yep.
Ciaran?
Yep.
Cherie?
I watched half of it.
It was 2
It's
minutes.
2
wasn't it?
minutes!
Yeah, I know. I have a baby. Do you guys have one? No.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Allowed to
the
watch
valid
half of it.
excuse. I mean, she's got a point.
Yes.
Ooh.
If you have time to record this shit show, you can fucking watch a 2-minute video, is all I'm saying.
Whoa!
So,
Wow. Wow.
Jeez. Mum shaming. I can't believe it's coming from Dylan.
Oh, Dylan of all people.
It's all right.
but-
He'll edit this
so
all
it's-
out.
No. For a start, I suggest everyone watch this video from Malcolm Clock, who, as they do every year, put together this 2018 in under 2 minutes video. I always watch. I think I've been watching them pretty much since the start, or maybe I've missed the first year that they put them up. But they're always this really quick, concise, really well edited together overview of the year that was in games. A bit of a montage and everything like that. Ash, did it get you pumped? They always get me pumped. They get me excited. They're like, yeah, video games are cool. I like
Yeah.
this.
It was cool edit.
Ash is
7 out of
currently
10.
shrugging for the listeners.
Shrug.
7 out of 10, too much edit.
I mean, yeah. It was pretty solid.
Ash hates video games.
I mean,
Ciaran, do you like video games?
I've seen film ones that have got me hyped this year, so it didn't
I like
quite hit that
video
level.
game.
Yeah.
It wasn't 2 minutes of Overwatch footage. I didn't
Yeah,
watch it.
I've got Overwatch montages to watch, you know.
They just watch those on the daily.
Well, yeah. There was a new one out.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, there is every day.
Yeah, man.
Cherie, was the minute you watched get you pumped, or?
Yeah, no, it was. I was actually very pumped for it. No, it's the best thing about it at the minute is that every year seems to be like you look at the calendar year for the last couple of years and been like, this is the best video gaming year we've had in ages. But then the next year seems to top it. So I'm pretty pumped. Pretty pumped.
Good. Cherie,
Yes.
for your 1 minute, did you get pumped?
Sure, yep. Let's say yes.
Let's move this along.
I want everyone to say they love video games, but that's fine. So before I want to kind of go over what you all think stand out as some of the biggest stories, be that a positive story or a negative story, and then kind of grab what everyone thinks was their true gaming love of 2018. We all know what Ciaran's answer is going to be. Before we gather all that sort of information, I want to run down this top 10 list that I thought was the most intriguing, because I did some Googles. I was just looking for some nice news story like lists. I was looking for something that was like the biggest, most read stories, but none of those like that I saw sites were putting up super grabbed me. This one I thought was interesting though. So WatchMojo, the YouTube channel, did a top 10 biggest controversies of 2018. So I kind of wanted to run down these because I think
I'd like to know when this list was put together, because there's like kind of one thing that's only recently happening that I thought would be on here, but obviously not.
I reckon they were put together and then they took holidays a couple weeks ago or something like that. Possibly,
Yeah, fair enough.
Because they only came out a couple days ago, so yeah. So at number 10, they had Quantic Dream's Toxic Workplace, which if you don't know what it was leaked emails with homophobic and sexist stuff in them and whatever else. And then a weird conversation with David Cage in an interview basically saying that it's okay because he's worked with Ellen Page and she's gay, so it's fine. Which is kind of the equivalent of someone where they say the M word. They're like, I have black friends. It's okay. So that was personally, I'd probably put that one a lot higher because it was such a that news story was breaking right around the time that Detroit was releasing, and it kind of, I mean, look, a lot of people still love that game. I don't think it's hurt the sales or anything along those lines, but still, if you pay attention to the gaming news spectrum enough, I do feel like a lot of people kind of were like, oh, this is weird to be playing this at the time. They're like, oh, this is happening. And then Quantic Dream were going to sue news outlets for breaking this news, which then quickly turned into, yeah, fuck, we better not do that because then that makes us look really guilty if we're trying to sue them for the, like, no one else does that. So that's really weird. It's also really weird that this is the same year that the Red Dead thing with Rockstar, which is in the list later, that happens around the same time that Red Dead releasing. All these studios this year kind of just got caught with their, what's this saying? Caught with their
pants
socks,
down.
Caught with their pants down right as their games were
Pants down.
releasing a bit. Yeah, so
Caught with their socks down. Oh no, me socks are down. You'll look at me ankles. Oh no.
well, look, if you're super Catholic or something, I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. Then at number 2, we had Women in World War II, which was of course, the Battlefield 5 thing, which we talked about at some point on Platinum Explosion. Nick, not as far as the crazy people, of course, that this news story is about, but he was still kind of like, that's silly.
Nick's still a very historically accurate person. Like Nick's probably like.
No, I don't think he cared that women were in the game. It was all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Like his stickler was they weren't, doing the necessary for the.
It wasn't the right shade of uniform. The swords are made out of the wrong kind of metal.
I understand that because like it's what my dad used to do when he used to look over my shoulder playing like Medal of Honor or something. He'd be like, that gun wouldn't be in this part of the world. Why isn't it? And I'm like, I don't know.
But no one cared about these games' realism until
there
was too many girls. So
yep,
that was the thing.
Too many girls,
and still too many girls in the kitchen. I don't know.
Too many girls in the battlefield.
That's the one. Yeah,
break.
I was like,
break
where am I
a
going with
couple
this?
barbed wires or something. I don't know.
One other thing that makes me, the thing I always think about for this news story for this year now is David Milner's tweets about it from Game Informer Australia, because he just put out all these tweets. He's like, yeah, no, women in gaming, women in Battlefield, that's super inaccurate. And he would post like a gif of someone like leaping out of an air jet in the middle of the air, shooting someone on their way down, then getting inside that jet somehow. It's like, yeah, these games have always been super historical and realistic though, guys. I'm pretty sure.
Running around
and he
with
got
horse on
so...
fire,
Yeah, like all these sorts of things. Like he made a thread just of all the ridiculous stuff that you could do on Battlefield before this. And everyone in the comments, of course, he just got fucked. Like all the idiots up in there like, yeah, but. And I think he retweeted. This was like at the very start of the year when this news was breaking. And then I laughed so much because he retweeted it when the game released. He's like, this thread's still funny. Like, number 8, they had the Who game addiction, which is something, Ciaran, you talked a little bit about this in early late nights at some point. So this is what I was trying to make. Gaming addiction became an official thing. Like it's officially in the
World Health
Organization.
Organization, not Who magazine.
Yeah. Yeah,
to clarify for people.
Who would get that confused? Idiots. Like, this is a gaming show. We're not talking about that crap. Not talking about any Who magazine subscription. Idiots. It's obviously the health organization. Yeah, so they made it's an addiction now. It's officially a recognized condition or addiction, in the World Health eyes, and a lot of people have problems with it and still had problems and still have problems with it because people say that it isn't actually classified correctly, and people are going to abuse it, and it's going to get people that are like depressed or suffer from all sorts of other different things and using video games as a coping mechanism. They're going to get them incorrectly diagnosed. So I think this is definitely one of the, like at number 8, I'd probably be in the top.
I'm surprised by 8. But I did get really mad at this story. Like, and it wasn't even the story itself. Like, I can understand how gaming addiction's a thing. And I had to kind of, hold, like, I didn't want to, I tried not to talk about it for too long on early late nights because I felt it was one of those topics that if I kept going on it, I'd just get myself angrier and angrier just because of the way mainstream media was portraying it and the stories that they chose to display this or to try and say, hey, look, gaming addiction's really bad. And
in Australia, it's primarily they were connecting this story to Fortnite.
Yeah.
Is the thing, yeah.
And families that kids weren't going to school because they just wanted to play games and stuff. And it got my blood a little bit hot, bit of boiling.
Bit of boiling. I'll stop on this one. Does anyone, because this is, I think, one of the most important ones of the year so far. Ash, because obviously we didn't have Arcade Couch started at this point. Do you have any thoughts on the whole thing?
It's complicated. I mean, there are people who clearly do suffer from gaming addiction, but I feel like it's just an addiction problem in general rather than specifically gaming. But obviously, why they wanted to classify it as a thing so people who actually suffer from this can get help. So I mean, it's not it's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, I know. I just feel like as gamers, it's just another negative thing to be thrown against us, which is probably why people had like a knee-jerk reaction to it.
Mm-hmm. Cherie?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Ash. I feel like if it wasn't, I think the difference with like gaming versus any other obviously any other addiction is normally completely different. Like if you're talking about like actual bigger ones like drugs or alcohol or those types of things, but gaming is isolating right in front of you before, like it wouldn't be a slow burn. Do you know what I mean? You're already, like if you're doing multiplayer online or something, you're already closing yourself off from the get-go instead of, say, an alcoholic like slowly getting into it and then closing themselves out of everyone's lives. So I think it's just an easy thing to kind of throw the word addiction at. But yeah, I'm kind of with Ash on this in the way that, I feel like it's no different with any addiction or anything that anyone zones in on. They already have other issues and it's just another, thing to be thrown out there that, that it's bad and just, negativity against it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a confusing one because like I 100% believe at some stage I was legit addicted to League of Legends, which is why I have such a love-hate relationship with that game because it stopped me from playing anything else, even if I wanted to play it. It made me angrier throughout the day. I would stay up to ridiculous hours playing it, and then it would I'd get home, play it, wake up, play it. I mean, it was all I was doing, pretty much, and it would. That's what I'm saying. I've told the story about like ripping my shirt off because it's funny, but at the same time, that's because like losing that many games of ranked upset me that much, because so I believe I actually had a problem at that point for that period of the year there at some stage. But my biggest problem with it is I don't think the classification is correct. Like that's what I was saying before about
Yeah.
a lot of people use it like, and they've proven this. A lot of people use it as a coping mechanism. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
they're super depressed and they're just using games as a coping mechanism for something else, or
It's an
any
outlet.
sorts of things like that. It's an outlet. So the way they've classified it doesn't make it easy to kind of separate when people are using, because at some place people could use alcohol or drugs as coping mechanisms for other stuff, and then they could become drug addicts. But it's like, what's the core problem that led you to this place? Whereas I feel that if someone's going to look at someone and say, you're a video game addict, they're not going to try and work backwards and say, what led you to this? Whereas they would for drugs or alcohol or something along those lines. There's no, it's just, you're addicted to games. All you want to do is play Fortnite, kid.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It's
You
more of
obviously
a
have no
symptom, not an actual disease.
Yeah, and
And-
I think it means too, like, it comes back, like, most addictions come back to the personality, like to personality types and how people deal with things and process things. And it just might so happen that person's jumped into games, they enjoy that game or whatever, they enjoy what they're doing, and that's the route that they've taken instead of choosing something else. That's what they're throwing all of themselves into.
I think for me as well, the thing that I think skewed how this gaming addiction has been used is that it's come about due to the mainstream kind of relevance of Fortnite this year, where, as Dylan said, people with this kind of gaming addiction, it has been a thing for many years. Dylan has suggested that he was addicted to League of Legends. I know many people that were legitimately addicted to World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft did like some terrible things to people, where people valued their World of Warcraft lives more than their real life.
Yeah.
They didn't really give a fuck about their real life. They had this character that was so rich and needed to do all these quests and that was more important than the real life, the real families that they had. And so that it's taken this mainstream game Fortnite that is accessible to younger people, so younger kids, for them to to take the time to and put in some research to go, okay, this is a thing, but it's like this research could have happened so much longer ago and helped so many more lives. For me, it just feels like the only reason that this got put in place was because of it affecting younger people.
I think, I think gaming these days too is an easier target because there's a larger population of youths now that are gaming more than being active and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like it just does come back to that thing for media where it's always been that whole kids stay inside and play video games, they're not outside riding bikes, etc., etc. And I feel like because obviously the younger generation, we're all more based around technology, that's just how life is. But I feel like that becomes an easier target when these types of things come up for media and everyone else to just throw it at gaming. Because there's a difference between, you being passionate and loving a game and throwing yourself completely into it and playing it constantly and being addicted. It does come back to the reason why you initially threw yourself into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, some people just have addictive personalities anyway. And
That's what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Like,
so-
it's choosing gaming. That's what you just happen to be putting yourself into to deal with things instead of choosing food or
could have been
choosing
cigarettes,
drugs, or choosing fitness.
could have been McDonald's.
Could be anything.
Religion.
Yeah. So it's definitely an interesting story. I know a lot of people are still kind of fighting to get it's how it's written or diagnosed or whatever, changed. So I don't think anything like that's going to change for quite some time, but maybe next year more will come up about this. I don't know. It's definitely one of the, that's what I'm saying. If I was doing the list, this would probably be top 3 for sure. This is a really big thing that's may not hit straight away or whatever in the face, but over the next couple of years, as more people get diagnosed as having gaming addiction, all of a sudden, like, this is a thing that was never going to happen before. Like, people can be officially diagnosed now with gaming addiction. So definitely one of the biggest stories of the year, I think, for sure. All right, at number 7, they had Rockstar's Overtime story, which of course we have talked about. Rockstar Games working some employees turned out to be somewhere of like 60-ish hours after the original comment of 100 plus hours. It was a whole thing. It's still kind of going on. I think it was a bigger thing following the Telltale thing, which of course is later in this list, which was basically came up about Telltale getting overworked and all sorts of things, and then already having such a narrative in 2018 about how the game development process is and what needs to be changed about it. So I think I would definitely it's hard to put this one because I'd probably combine it with Telltale somehow and just call it crunch or something, like something like 2018, the year that a lot more people finally said or read more about crunch or didn't know about it but suddenly do now. So, and I definitely feel like going into 2019 because of these stories that if anything like this comes up in interviews and stuff like it did with Dan Houser for this one where he's just randomly threw out the number, we're doing 100 plus hours. I don't think 2019 onwards people are going to let that slide anymore. Like as we found out with this interview, people are going to pick up on it and go, wait, what? Wait, you got your employees working how many hours? So I think it's a negative story that maybe looking for the bright side has a positive spin for the industry, I guess. I don't know. Like if you want to pull it in that direction.
Yeah. At least it got brought to light. That's the important thing. And then,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, at least compared to the Telltale one, at least they got paid.
Well,
they got paid for their overtime, so silver linings.
But if you quit a day before the game release, you didn't get your name in the credits though. Fuck you. That's a whole different thing, but Rockstar Games. Number 6, they had Epic Games versus PUBG lawsuit. I don't think this is that big of a deal. In fact, it was kind of more of I'd call it a fail story. Yeah, it's very anticlimactic. So the year starts out, Fortnite's kicking up, Fortnite's taken off, and PUBG was this huge thing at the end of last year. It's so funny, PUBG at the end of last year, it should be Game of the Year nominated at the Game Awards and all this stuff. Even Ciaran was like, we should be able to nominate it for our Explosion Network Game Awards last year. Yeah, you were trying to make this argument, and I was like,
he was just in love with Battle Royales.
It was a different time for Ciaran, and I'm so glad I stood my ground on that one because look where we are now. So, but the year starts out and everyone's kind of like, PUBG maybe not so much anymore, and everyone's moving over to Fortnite and loving Fortnite. And for some reason, PUBG Co. is that the company like PUBG, whatever the
it's
developer
PUBG
name is
corporation.
Corporation, yeah. They decide Epic Games has ripped off our game and we're going to sue them. And that was a thing. It was announced, and then quietly, months later, they were like, "We'll just withdraw that because, as a lot of people rightfully pointed out, a lot of people rightfully pointed out, you can't copyright a genre. It doesn't matter if you kind of invented it. Like the fact is, you can't really copyright a genre, or else." You could, like, everyone would be saying that there would be no more first-person shooters. Ciaran wouldn't have Overwatch, for example. If you could copyright a genre, Ciaran would not have Overwatch because the game wouldn't exist.
Would be.
Yeah.
Think of all the free time you'd have to play other games. It'd be crazy.
No, because I'd go to play Dota 2 again, and that would waste more of my time.
It's probably true.
Yep.
So at number 6, I'm like, I don't think I'd even have this one on the list. I don't really know. It's not really that. I don't think it's that big of a story. It was funny at the time, but it's just more of a. It was part of the stars telling us that PUBG was kind of just set in 2018 to be a.
I think looking back at it now, it's definitely a lot smaller of a story just because of the position that PUBG is in now. I think at the time where PUBG was clawing onto life and was.
It was still
trying
big.
to.
People
it was still big.
Cared
Yeah, people still cared about it. People weren't pissed off at how unbalanced and how half-baked the game was. It was still people were trying to like that game. So the story was so much bigger than it is as we look at it now.
Yeah. And number 5, they had Active Shooter, which is the game that was trying to release on Steam early in the year, which, so as far as I'm concerned, some games very much like this still get released on Steam. But this game was trying to get released on Steam, and it was a game where you could play as an active shooter inside a school and shoot school kids, or you could play as the cops going in to try and stop them. It was horribly made. It looked like crap. It looked like it ran like crap. I have no idea why you'll try and put it out. It actually got pulled. They got a lot of bad press, and Steam actually took a stand on this one and decided to say no, although they still let a lot of other crap come through, which I've made very apparent I have a problem with Steam for that factor. But for whatever reason, they didn't let this through. And they should let this stuff through. This is the thing that's pissing me off. This is a story. This is the one time out of a couple where I'm like, okay, they did the right thing, but I don't think they do it all the time. And I reckon they would have let it through if it didn't get as much hubbubaloo as it did, is the thing. Like, the only reason they didn't let it through is because it got 300k or whatever it was signatures on a petition, and it got a lot of Twitter social media interaction. I remember seeing at the time it was coming around to release. It was kind of everywhere for like a straight week. This game's coming out. Oh my god, it's fucked up. Yes, it is fucked up. What are we going to do about it? Oh, it got pulled. And then it was kind of like news story over type of thing. But I do feel like a lot of games very similar to this just sneak their way onto Steam, and Steam doesn't really care because they have this whole freedom of speech jerk policy that I think is absolute fucking nonsense. Because freedom of speech, yeah, okay, make the game, put it on your website, release it there, and if people really want it, they can go get it there. Like, no one's going to stop you from legally putting up there. But Steam as a platform, as far as I'm concerned, should be saying fuck no to shit like this, because this is not it's not a game. Like, there's no point to it. It's just people trolling and then trying to act like they're actually putting out a game. So, anyone got any thoughts on this hot shit
I'd
show?
forgotten this was a game. I forgot this was even a story, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a flash of the pan outrage and then gone. I completely forgot. So I don't think I'd put it on at 5. Like, I think there was a couple other stories that should be probably a little higher as, the biggest controversies of 2018. But yeah, okay.
Fair enough. I think it should be way lower, but maybe 10 and put it at 10 and move the other ones up. Number 4, you got the Filip Miucin. Is it Miucin or Miucin?
Who cares?
Okay. But yeah, you're right, kid. You're spot on, Ash. You are fucking spot on, Ash. Thank you very much. Filip Plagiarism is what we're going to call his name. So Filip Plagiarism, if we all don't recall, worked at IGN. He plagiarized articles, as was his last name. He then said he didn't do it, and then they found out he did some more. The original one was Dead Cells. It was signed Mr. Plagiarist. Then they found another bunch. Like, basically plagiarized fucking everything he'd ever did at IGN. IGN quickly fired him, moved on. He now lives off on his own YouTube channel, where he's somehow still racking like somewhere between 5 to 10Ks on average. I quick looked.
Yeah, first one he got back was a golf story
High.
review. He got 68,000 views. I suspect most of them was people shit talking him, like, and leaving shitty comments and that kind of thing. My favorite one is he says, "Anyone know who the original uploader of this video was?"
I've just realised that Ash has become the embodiment of the YouTube comment section. That's his role on Arcade Couch.
But yeah, he's more recent ones are like 6,000 to about 9,300. So
still a lot. I feel,
he's still got a
considering.
fan base, which is
he's still
sad.
It's ridiculous that you can hold a fan base after all of that.
mean,
Like,
some
you'd
people
think,
don't have standards.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, if for some reason you don't recall the story, I didn't know it, which would be really, really weird. There was Dead Cells review, Boomstick Gaming, YouTube channel which does gaming reviews. Watch the IGN one. They were like, "Hey, fuck, this kind of sounds like the review I did." They then put up a YouTube video of their review side by side to the IGN review, like played them side by side for different paragraphs, and they pretty much matched up with a couple words changed. Once they got traction, IGN pulled Filip for a time. It was like, hey, just sit over to the side while we investigate the Dead Cells review. Pulled the Dead Cells review. They did a whole investigation. Dan Stapleton, I'm sure, lost none of his hair that's left. So he lost somehow more hair. He lost his eyebrows going through this whole process, I'm sure. Yeah.
Chest hair, yeah.
But then, they found pretty much everything he'd ever posted at IGN that they could find, from Nintendo Life, Overend, like Wikipedia article, like all over the place. Like he was just pulling stuff for his
his
reviews.
justification, he was doing research.
Yeah.
That's his process.
That is, and that was how he tried to summarize it up. This one definitely stands out to me as one of the overall, like not even one of the worst stories of 2018, one of the biggest
yeah.
stories, because it was fucking everywhere. And yeah, once again, we wasn't doing Arcade Couch at the time, so if anyone wants, I'll let you go, Ash. You got some fire burning in you. What do you?
I mean, it was
what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's just a shitty thing to do, and then to get away with it, and then to not apologize afterwards, to like make an apology video in quotation marks.
It wasn't even an apology video. He called it that, and it was like
with no apology, and then it backfired because he told Jason Schreier if there was any more examples he could find of his work that was plagiarized to let him know, and he certainly did.
Jason Schreier was a bloodhound. He was a bloodhound.
Yeah,
sick him, Jason.
Yeah, that's pretty great. It's pretty. I'm just happy that someone who was doing the wrong thing got knocked down a couple pegs. That's good. Mm-hmm. Good work, internet.
But it's still, surely it's still annoying. He gets nearly 10K views per video.
But yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Apart from Bernie's house down, but that's fine. We don't need to.
I'm sure there's the dislike to like ratio is still pretty much in the dislike. So I feel like most of those views are hate views. So
probably, but at that stage, like
just the interest.
Leave him alone.
But
you're giving him views still. Stop
getting views.
Looking at his stuff.
Yeah,
Ciaran, what do you?
I think it's takes? I don't know. I don't like. It's annoying because it's one of these things that you like. It's a shit thing that happened. It's really annoying, but at the same time, I don't want to give this guy any more coverage or anything else over it. At least it shows that reporters and journalists in the gaming media, especially, need to be held accountable for their work and need to be held to some kind of values or some kind of workload.
Yeah.
And if that means companies like IGN need to balance out their workload more, maybe, put less pressure on their writers or, hire more writers or something, sure. But at the same time, it was such a douchebag move and he handled it so fucking stupidly. Jason Schreier earns me so much respect for me, even though he had my respect already, but so much more when he went all out on finding more, cases of fuck yous to Filip plagiarism. But, when you have the surname like plagiarism, you can't really escape it, can you?
Sure can't. Cherie, got any hot takes for this one as well?
No extra things, but I just agree. Like, it's probably one of the biggest things that's sort of, it was just everywhere. It got to the point where I just stopped looking at it because I just kind of like check in, but it was just everywhere. It was all you could read
just
about.
Check in on the crowd with the mob with their pitchforks and their torches and just be like, are they still burning? Are they still? Yep.
Guys, it was about ethics and journalism.
Yeah. The only time. Ash, we're starting this thing called Gamergate.
Okay. We're going to talk about the AGAs?
Yeah.
Oh, please no.
No, they're not on the list. At number 3, they had Riot Games Sexism, which if you don't, I think Kotaku was like Cecilia. I can't remember the last name. Sorry, but she wrote this really great piece up about that leaked stories of people telling stories about the Riot Games workplace. Of course, the makers of League of Legends, and about how women there are treated pretty much like crap, and Riot Games has this very bro mentality that kind of started when they made the company, and it still continues to this day, where it's like, hey, do you want to work at our company? Yeah, okay, what are your favorite games? And if your answers aren't what they consider hardcore, quote unquote, real games, then you're pretty much not going to get hired. Especially if you're a woman, because they just consider you to be a casual gamer, and you're not going to fit with them there, because their Riot Games is fucking hardcore. They make hardcore games. League of Legends is a hardcore game. They're going to play that shit. So it had like stories of, like there was one girl who did like her manager's work or something for whatever field she was in for several months unpaid, because that person like went on leave, or the person who did the job left, or something along those lines, and they were just doing it. And then when it came around, they just shoved a male in that position just out of the left field, even though she'd been doing it for so long to get paid for it. There was like heaps of examples of this stuff. And then even most recently, Riot Games has laid off, well, not laid off, they've done that whole thing where he's still part of the company, but like he's like on forced leave while they look into him, or whatever.
Shunned. He's in the bad corner.
It's like sit in a naughty corner while we have to investigate you because some stuff has been going down. So it was pretty much Riot Games this year. Even though, look, when the story broke, it's like we all pretty much. I don't feel like anyone was like, "Fuck Riot Games, no way, they have a bro culture at that company." There's
no one's surprised.
No way. Yeah, I was like reading it. It was just like, yeah, this makes sense. I feel like there's just some companies that doesn't really surprise me. And that's not to say that everyone works there is bad, because the story was kind of evened out. And then following the story, there was people on Twitter who were like, a lot of people saying, you know, like in my small group, in the section I'm in, everything's cool or whatever. So there was like kind of evening it out, but it did seem the majority of the story was that place is very bro culture, which very like 90s or late 80s or whatever. I don't know. It's really, really odd.
I liked that Jason, you know, once again, after the original piece broke out, Riot kind of came out and tried to do crowd control, tried to condemn the article a little bit, tried to change some things on the sly, and Jason Schreier once out came out again and was like, well, I've already been researching this and was preparing a piece on this anyway. With all this information here, and this is what you guys are doing and changing. So I think once again, as you know, as it continues over the next story, 2018 was the year of holding game developers and game publishers and journalists accountable for what they're doing. Accountability. The year of 2018.
I feel like that was just the year in general, not just games too, in a lot of situations.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it really was when the Me Too movement and everything else starts. So, yeah.
Dylan, how's that gaming related?
Yep. I'm sure some of those people play games. It's fine. We'll tie it.
You don't think there's people from the Me Too movement in gaming? I think you're being terribly mistaken.
Ash, don't Ash. Don't go there.
I can't believe you're so ignorant, Ciaran.
Ash, stop it.
And number 2, we have Telltale Games closes. Definitely one of the biggest stories of the year for sure. It stands out there for me. Obviously, it was and like, I think one of the things that makes it so big isn't really when we find out what the story is, which of course sucked, you know, the working pressure they were put under, and basically the people that were running that company, like, idiots, really, is what it seems. But I think the part that made the story so big was waking up, opening Twitter, Telltale's closed. Wait, what? Yeah. Like, we've still got, like, it's just left field as fuck. It was so weird. Yeah, Ash, you got any, like, we've talked a lot about this on Plat, I feel. Yeah, but like now that it's kind of all wrapped up, I guess, we've got Skybound publishing the next couple episodes with some of the devs left. And the next episode's coming out late, next month or whatever, January something. Yeah, so we're kind of at the end of the story, I guess, as far as it comes with Telltale. So you got any thoughts, I guess?
I don't know. It was just a sad situation. Just obviously we all like their game, most of their games. In hindsight, I guess we should have seen the writing on the wall. Like, obviously their sales numbers weren't doing as well, and there was still a reasonably big company with a lot of people. So, it was just sad. And to hear how just people getting laid off all of a sudden with no warning, it's pretty depressing. Yeah. But everybody seems to
No,
be going.
nothing.
Yeah. But everybody seems to be going on to bigger and better things. So hopefully, yeah.
Ciaran.
There was two major points I got. One was the realization, and I don't think it ever really come across it, that many gamers had, that popularity or overall appreciation of a developer or a game does not equal success. It does not equal, it does not equal units sold. So Telltale is such a beloved company. Yes, there are those people that a decent portion of the gaming community that says, "Oh, it's terrible. They have a crappy engine," and complain about them. But they're still overall beloved. But the fact that they aren't making profits off games, and the extent of what they were doing that wasn't profitable, like they hadn't made money since the first season of Walking Dead, really was not good. But then again, I think the silver lining that came from this story, which made me proud to be a gamer and happy for the situation, not that Telltale closing down is a happy situation, but just the fact of the amount of other developers and other organizations that came forward and gave those people opportunities for jobs. That when something bad happens in gaming, other developers and other people in the gaming community step up and help. And I think it's a really nice thing. It's a really good thing. I remember seeing pictures of there being like a meetup for all the former devs.
It was
at
the
Telltale.
Ubisoft one. Was the one, it was like on the dock or whatever in San Francisco or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
It was Ubisoft one they threw.
Yeah, and I think I saw another one that had like Blizzard and stuff there, and Activision, that was like on a rooftop and stuff. And it's really nice to see those people step up and help out where they can. If necessary, they might not be able to help out initially or directly. They can at least help people, point them in the right direction, or maybe find a couple jobs here and there within their corporations and companies to be able to help people get back on their feet after this.
Yep. Yeah, it's just super. Yeah, I mean, looking for the bright side amongst it all. It's always like, yeah, that's good, but they still like got chucked out, like help, and yeah. So, Cherie, you got any?
Yeah, I think
thoughts on this one?
Having worked for two companies in the past that have gone down that road, and how much of a shock it was, just like you said, to wake up and be like, they're closing down, it's all overnight, staff didn't know about it, etc., etc., etc. It's hard to kind of listen to that, because that's actually not the way that things work. That there's a filtering system for the people above all those people, and there's a choice that's made, and it's whether you're choosing to share that information with the people below you or you're not, is the bottom line, before you get to the point where you're like, we're closing our doors. There's a distance of time that you go through. So I think, like, for me, like, watching it all unfold, I was just like, this is just bullshit, really, because that there's just weren't the proper steps taken, and having it just been blasted overnight is ridiculous. Like, but yeah, like Ciaran was saying, we know two things about gamers. They're the most toxic and probably the most passionate when they do actually enjoy things. So it is good to see, like, communities and stuff coming together to show that support. So you got the kind of two spectrums on social media, where you had those really toxic people that were very much showing true colors and really just, defending the company and everything like that. And then the other side that was really, really supportive. But it was such a huge story and such a mixed bag of opinions, really. And I think that's what also made it so huge, was just the reaction from everyone.
Yep. It's gonna be, I think that the only thing I'm left to kind of see on this one is when that team, which they've called Still Not Bit, I think they called it the Still Not Bitten team or whatever, that
Still
kind
Not
of
Dead
got
or
left
something,
off. Still not, yeah.
I think
it's
Still Not Bitten. Yeah, that sounds right.
Still Not Bitten, because it's from Clem, yeah. At Skybound, who's finishing the games. I'm going to be interested what happens when they've, like, yeah, we've done the last episode. What, do they just dissolve and they're back on the street? Or does that team keep on at Skybound? And because Skybound is kind of making games now as well as publishing them. So Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I feel like that's the kind of end of the story for me. What actually happens with that team now, I guess, is the last line I want to see through in 2019 of just out of interest. But so at number 1, WatchMojo had in their list most controversial things is Trump attacking video games in 2018. So this is primarily basically from one interview in which he was talking to a journalist or some news outlet or something along those lines. And to be fair, I remember the news story was everywhere. However, by the end of the year, I kind of forgot it even happened. But I do recall it being a bubble at the time. I think you talked about it on Early Late Nights, didn't you, Ciaran? Something like, well,
I think I did briefly. I don't think I went too far into it because it was kind of overall. But
yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal.
It was based on like a teleconference or something he also had with a couple other people afterwards about video games and everything. That's the thing. I can't remember this story. And I feel like, for me, the only reason it is at the top of this list is because it's connected to Donald Trump. There's so much of today's news.
He's only the most powerful person in the world.
Exactly. He's
argue.
the most powerful person in the world. And he's a complete and utter spud.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's for sure. So the news story was pretty much because I believe people were asking him about, like, there was a recent shooting. I mean, it was probably a Sunday.
I think it was just deflecting.
This was after the Madden shooting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
This was after the Madden event shooting.
Yeah, so then he was pretty much like, there's too much violence.
The incredibly violent game Madden.
Yeah.
It was deflecting. It was deflecting. Do you want stronger gun laws here in America? Deflection. Video games are too violent. That's the reason it happened. It's nothing to do about gun laws. It was very much a deflection thing on his part. So, yeah, to me personally,
shocking that he would deflect from a proper issue.
Yeah, and I do remember the news story blowing up. But I reckon it's pretty much like Ciaran said. It only really blew up because it was Trump. The president of the United States says bad things about video games. It's going to gain traction. Trump is going to gain more traction than any other president saying that sort of thing. I reckon just because of who he is. But overall, I don't think it's that big of a.
It didn't really do
story,
anything.
really.
Or nothing happened because of it. It's not like video games were banned anywhere or it changed anything. It was just, a president speaking his opinion on a matter that is false.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Does anyone else have something to say on that one, or no? So yeah, that was WatchMojo's list of top 10 controversies of the year. But now I kind of want to go round table. What does everyone, if it's not on the list? Was there anything that stood out to you that you personally think was the biggest news story of the year, be that a positive one or it doesn't have to be a big one, it's just whatever kind of stands out in your own mind. Ash, do you have anything that you think was probably the biggest news story to you?
Down. I'll do them in order of least.
You can do them in order of whatever the fuck you want.
So as long as they're gaming related.
Puddlegate. The uproar about the puddles missing from Spider-Man. And just the general entitlement around that game, I think you could probably bundle it in with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit as well.
Oh,
yep.
That fucking suit.
We don't deserve that game is what it comes down to.
Yeah, we don't deserve Insomniac. They're just too good. They should be praised. And this is a shitty situation all around. Second up, crossplay. I think everybody... That was like a huge talking point for ages throughout the year. Everybody complaining about there not being crossplay with PlayStation, Fortnite, the accounts being locked to PlayStation. And then PlayStation said, we're going to do crossplay. And then nobody ever mentioned it again.
I know some people have fixed their accounts and stuff. Like I've heard people talk about
but then they just did a short trial on PlayStation with crossplay for Fortnite. And then it's never been brought up again for any other game since, as far as I can tell.
Because I reckon they rushed it to get it good for Fortnite because they needed that PR dilemma fixed ASAP. And then they're like, well, fuck. Now we'll actually go back and try and fix it like we would have liked to if we had the time to actually put the right things in place for the rest of the games.
But have you heard them talk about crossplay in any other game since Fortnite this year?
I don't believe they ever intended to allow crossplay.
Yeah.
They always said it's on the developer.
I think they said
it's
it,
on the developer.
And then nobody questioned it.
We'll see. I reckon they can't go back from this. I reckon PS5 is going to have something.
They can't
like,
go
whenever
back
they,
now.
Yeah,
But
whenever they reveal PS5, it's going to be in that thing there, and you'll be able to play some games online with other you know, like it'll be one of those things. So
Yeah.
they can't go back now, but I don't think they ever intended to go there. Like, I don't think they ever intended in their overall plan for Sony or PlayStation was to be crossplay at all.
Oh, for sure. No, they
No.
never wanted to, but they had the biggest
Nobody's
PR,
plan was that. There's just the
Yeah.
games that people were playing. They wanted crossplay.
And Xbox would have been doing what Sony was doing if they were in the lead this generation. Xbox would have been
Probably.
like, fuck no,
Yeah,
no
definitely.
crossplay. And Sony would have been the ones that probably would have been like, we've enabled crossplay like Nintendo because we love gamers and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the only reason Xbox rushed out to do it was because they went in first. They had to do, they needed to do good things. So,
Yeah.
what's your third one, Ash?
The saddest story of the year. The Kazurai CEO Twitter account retired.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All these events have been happening the last few months. We haven't had Kazurai making jokes about it.
Tweets,
Think of all
yeah.
the funny ones he would have made about the Filip plagiarism scandal. Think about all the fun
That's true.
ones he'd be doing about everything. Yeah. It's sad.
It's a sad world we live in
Yeah. The world's just a little less bright.
without that UK man or wherever he turned out to be from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a UK
Somewhere
worker and
random.
something,
Yeah.
something completely unrelated to games.
Yeah.
So
Very
we won't
much.
talk about it here. Kieran.
Thank-
Kieran, what
I think
big gaming stories stand out to you?
the biggest bad one for me is the one that's playing out right now with this Fortnite dance lawsuit that's about to happen with
Yeah.
the guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and
Also the
Kid.
Backpack Kid.
A Backpack Kid actually annoys me. Like, it really angers me because he's gotten so much because of being in Fortnite, and he's like, Fortnite have brought him out to events and everything, and now all of a sudden he's like, they're taking advantage of me. What the fuck? But I think this will have the biggest impact on gaming and other pop culture going forward, because if it comes to the fact that these people can copyright their freaking dances and say that was their content and stuff, then it's going to change what video game developers can put into their games without being in fear of, you know, getting another lawsuit.
Not just video game developers.
No, there'd be freaking
Yeah,
everything.
Everyone.
Yeah,
Everything.
You
exactly.
can't
That's what I'm
dance
saying.
at
It's not
sporting
just-
events in case you get caught on camera, and then they freaking want royalties. Yeah.
Yep. That's the thing. That's the scary point we're in. And I think even though this story's only come out in the last week or two, the last month-ish, I think it's going to have the largest impact of any of these stories that we've talked about so far tonight.
It could. It's going to be an interesting story. I personally think it's going to go nowhere because I don't think he can copy. I don't think anyone,
Yeah.
I don't think a judge anywhere can rule that a dance move is anyone's intellectual property, because that will affect everything from video games to sporting events to fucking cheerleaders at high schools to children plays. You know, like it just, it's like, where does it kind of stop at that point? But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting 2019 story.
It's one of those things where when I was ignorant of the world or America as it was, I probably would have looked at that and went, nah, nobody could sue that and actually win that case. But I'm so lost all hope in the American justice system and just everything about that country that I'm like, you know what? This is fucking stupid enough that it's probably going to go through and it's probably going to ruin fucking everything. So good job, fucking Backpack Kid. I hope Fortnite asks for all the shit they gave you back.
Yeah. Do you have another news story that's less
I
angry?
don't think so. Not that I can think is big and controversial. I think the only one from, I guess,
It
my
doesn't have to be
stratosphere.
controversial. I just said any news story that's big to you, that stands out to you in
Big. I
2018.
think the other one that was
I was expecting, Overwatch something or other. Like,
no,
come on.
because Overwatch. Overwatch League is the big one for me because I'm all, you know, I can talk about Overwatch for days. I was trying to go outside the box for this one where the only other story that I think that was big and it was fucking annoying and terrible was the whole Ninja comments about not wanting to stream with girls. Like refusing to stream with girls. Like looking back at that comment,
Couldn't even host the Game Awards with a girl. Had to get a Muppet.
had to get a fucking Muppet. Had to get the sleaziest and most like
You leave Pepe the Prawn alone.
Like, they had to get the most low-tier puppet for him.
He's great.
They couldn't even afford Kermit. They had to get fucking...
He's a busy guy.
They've got a small budget. Ninja, can you host this thing? Yeah, you'll be presenting with insert streamer. No. Can't. Wife won't let me. Who would you rather present with? Fucking anyone. How does a shitty Muppet sound? It doesn't matter. Get me up there.
Yeah, so he's made that comment. I think his fan base is dying very hardcore right now. He just, in the last week or two, dropped from the most subscribed to streamer to like third place, which was like quite a massive like fall for him. So I think the way to show that there's still such a terrible culture. Like, a lot of people probably think, who are either not really interested in the video game scene or don't really care, probably like, oh, girls are getting treated pretty well now in the video game industry, and it's just another case of fuck no. It annoys me.
Ninja annoys me. That's why.
Ninja annoys fucking everyone. Ninja.
Remember when he played with Drake? That was cool.
Yeah, that was like the thing that... actually, annoying, funny story. When he compares himself to subs, he complains every time. He complains because he's like, I'm losing subs because people think I'm too rich now, so they don't need to support me. It's like Drake. Drake started making music like 10 years ago, but nobody stops buying his albums. They didn't stop, because he's super successful. It's like, shut the fuck up, Ninja. Please.
I mean,
Please,
not wrong in that regard.
He's not.
You should keep supporting whoever you want to support. You shouldn't think, they're too big, I won't support them anymore.
Yeah, but still, shut the fuck up, you bluehead knobhead.
On that account, Cherie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there's
What
a
news
lot of
stories?
streamers news this year that kind of just like got in my ear that I thought was funny. And yeah, like one of the things I was gonna bring up was Drake streaming with Ninja. That was pretty funny. But I think the main thing for me was Telltale, because I just think it was the most like relatable to me because I've been on both sides of that story. And it was also when I first started being social media manager at EN. So I was like...
It was a fun time.
It was a fun time.
It's
when I was
all related.
Pardon?
It's all related.
Yeah, when I was trying to like weed through the internet blowing up about it for a fairly long time, trying to do my EN work. So it was very much in my face constantly. So I think like overall it was probably one of the most like stories that I was running away from the most, because it was the biggest and most intrigued with as well. Something that I couldn't look away from.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say you were dealing with the mess of social media accounts Ashley had left you.
He's got all these separate accounts. He's just on there like trolling me.
Yeah, so all the ones the two I wrote down as the standouts to me from this year, I already said, but I just wrote down Fortnite in general, like just the straight run of Fortnite news throughout the year. Be that good, as in it's a really popular game and people are enjoying it, and that's good for people that enjoy it, to the bad of like, especially in Australia where our shitty local news places, we're pretty much kicking it and tying it into that gaming addiction thing. What seemed like every fortnight there for several months in a row. So that was got him. And then the Telltale one is probably my like the standout, because I love Telltale games. I really liked all the games. Obviously had problems, but I brought pretty much all their games. I brought all their games day one. I always brought the season passes, and I liked all their games. I even liked Sam and Max and all that sort of stuff. So that was just super sad story. I brought Guardians day one. I didn't even like it, but I that's the thing. You can't, like, they didn't close down because I wasn't chucking money at them day one going, here it is. I was definitely not part of the problem, that's for sure.
Telltale suffered very much from the I'll buy it on sale once all the episodes are out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what, I saw an I can't remember who tweeted it, but someone tweeted this week, and I liked it or retweeted or something like that because I thought it was a good comment because all the Steam sales are on at the moment, and someone like had a good tweet about, hey, how about instead of buying all these indie games that you really want to buy on sale, just buy them full price and support the people because they actually need the money. So that was an interesting one. But all right, to kind of wrap up the show, everyone's gaming love of 2018. So what game do you think grabbed you the most? It doesn't have to be from 2018. It doesn't matter. Just what game, when you think about 2018, you think about playing video games, what game or games, if you want to chuck more than one, doesn't really matter. There's no rules. What things come to your mind, stand out the most? Ash, where does your heart belong?
Well, Spider-Man.
Wow, the look on your face then was like thinking about a girl you're in love with.
Daydreaming.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Then probably like FIFA and Football Manager and those sort of things, yeah. And
Yes, I too love me some Football Manager.
and Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't say Fallout Shelter, I'm going to kill you. Buddy, that was Ash's addiction this year. Fallout Shelter. Couldn't stop him. Non-stop. Whole day, 24/7. Make them babies, send them out to the wasteland.
Like real life.
Yeah, that's
what I
exactly
do.
how it works in real life. Yeah. Ciaran.
This is a tough one. There's a couple games spring to mind that I could really
Counter-Strike.
really dive into.
Madden.
There's no
NBA
one
2K.
game that really defines my 2018. Like Fortnite was so good.
Call of Duty Blackout.
Blackout mode. I played that with my friends Dash and Buddy a whole bunch.
PUBG.
We're always up till like 3 a.m. playing. Like
Just any battle royale game. I'm
Madman.
just a huge fan of this
just
year.
any. I was all about the battle. Nah.
The Witcher?
No, I'd have to Overwatch. No, big shock for everybody here. I guess for me, it's since I quit Dota 2 a couple years ago, it's kind of filled that void of a competitive game that I actually could feel myself progressing at and getting better at. My change in gameplay and skill at the game is quite big. I realized a couple of days ago. I really sucked at Overwatch when I first started, like really badly. But I guess it's filled me with a lot of passion for esports. It filled me a lot of passion for doing stuff like coaching and analyst work. So yeah, Overwatch has been pretty damn cool. Pretty damn great.
Yeah, I was about to say, Overwatch is more, it's like everyone knows your answer because it wasn't just what you was playing, it changed what you was doing here as well. And everything.
Yeah, no, it changed everything completely. Like even just, I look back at it and I look back at the biggest reminder for me is friend of the Explosion Network, Michael's regular tweets about the hashtag Great Trophy War. And I look back at my mindset in January of this year going, I wanted to fully embrace console gaming. I wanted to be fully 100% in PlayStation gaming. I wanted to get platinum trophies. I was going to get like 30 platinums, like all together. I was like, man, I can do this. I like smashed it out in like the first couple weeks. And then burnt the shit out of it and just dropped off and fled into Overwatch. And I look back at it and it's like, it's a massive change. It's a really big change. Like even I looked back at early late nights and how that show began and how it changed into an esports show. It's such a big change. And I think for me as a content creator, it's such a better change. It's so much fun making that content and looking into it and learning more about different esports. It's been really fun this year.
There you go. By the way, since you brought up the trophy war, you have to live in that boat until the year's over and you can't complain because that's your fault.
No, I don't complain.
I'm looking forward to the bet.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Fucking Jaden. I was like,
I would have forgot if it wasn't for Jaden, but yeah.
I read the tweet.
I'm going to be picking something horrible for you to fucking stream.
I
that's
read
for sure.
I read the tweet. I read the tweet, right? And all on my phone it just showed me the writing. And then I was like, oh, it's only writing. I can deny that shit. That's fine. Open up the tweet, there's a screenshot. I'm like, fuck.
Got you red-handed. Cherie, what do you reckon for your gaming loves 2018?
Well, first half of the year, I was kind of making babies and sending them out to the wasteland. So, I kind of got back into
Not as effectively as I was.
I got back into my gaming. Oh,
If you need any tips, just ask Ashley.
Settle down. Got back into it like probably midway through the year and beyond. I was playing Uncharted 4, so I was like really, really enjoying that until Tomb Raider was my next love to come out, and it kind of overtook that because I stopped playing that, just dropped everything. But I mean, it would be. I just got a Switch this year too, so it would be hard not to say.
You can say the Switch is your love if you want. It doesn't have to be a game.
Yeah, because I'm playing like older games on the Switch, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I have to give a shout out to Pokemon because it's just Let's Go just did me. It's just like, how can you?
Let's Go did her, everyone.
It did her good.
How,
Did her good.
How can you go past the cuties? So, I mean, I've had a really
quite
mixed
easily.
gaming year. I've played a lot of older games and a lot of new ones. But like, if I had to really, I don't know, it's so hard. Like, I love Tomb Raider. I really enjoyed Donut County. Like, I really, really did.
I didn't say you had to pick one.
I know.
You just had
Yeah,
to,
you just had to
you
say
can have more
them.
than one.
Look, guys,
You
I'm
did say
saying
you
them,
don't-
okay? Are you listening?
You don't have to stress out.
Next episode's the one where you have to make definitive choices.
And I really, really enjoyed Florence as well. That was like, I think that's why I really enjoyed Donut County and Florence, because it was just the whole experience. It was the music and the art design and everything. So I really, really enjoyed those. And then my other two would be probably Let's Go and Tomb Raider, I think.
I'm really surprised you didn't mention Pokemon Go once.
Well, I said Pokemon.
There was a
at the
let's in
beginning.
between Pokemon and Go.
Yeah, I know, but like I said Pokemon like to begin with. But I think
The encompassing being that is Pokemon as a whole.
but like I'm talking about games that really got me, that like right in the heart hole. They really got me in there.
In the art hole.
In the art
the
hole.
Kingdom Heart hole?
Literally art hole. That's what separates everything else from Pokemon. The cuties versus the art.
I have two. My first answer would be PSVR. Not to say I didn't already like PSVR, of course, because I brought it day one and I enjoyed my time with it.
You just didn't
years
love it.
prior, fine. But this year was definitely the one where I'm like, this is the one where So that's the thing. I didn't dislike that I purchased it. I didn't have buyer's remorse or anything. I was kind of like an even. I was just floating. I'm neutral. I'm like, I enjoy what I play on this thing. It's all good. It's all dandy. I definitely never felt like I wanted to sell it. There was enough coming out that I was enjoyed it. But this year was definitely the year where I'm like, enjoyed my PSVR the most and made me more passionate about wanting to read more about VR games, because suddenly I was more excited about what's going to be happening and all sorts of stuff. Like this year I started following 2 new places, VR specific news outlets, independent news outlets, and I started watching a bunch more VR YouTubers where they review games and talk about upcoming PSVR games and stuff like that. So I definitely got more interested in my PSVR this year because I had so many great PSVR games, which of course, like I went on my whole Firewall Zero thing. I love Astrobot, Beat Saber, whatever, Tetris. There's so many I can name, but I definitely feel like this year VR kind of all of its games and
I feel like you were
experiences.
almost vindicated. You're almost rewarded for sticking with it, and now you're you're reaping the rewards of your dedication to PSVR by seeing all these hipster damn kids now buying their VRs and
I was about to
playing
say, my
Beat
reward
Saber.
for
Understand
paying
your definition of hipster.
Well,
my
these kids
reward
that
for
were like,
paying
PSVR
$500 day one is to see people buy it for $299 or whatever it is and get all the
$228.
great games now. $228. That's it. I'm so happy. That's what my reward is.
Well, you support it.
But you've got
The
that
company-
OG version.
The company
That's worse,
is not going
but
to go down. The company is not going to go down because you paid full price.
You paid full
That's for
price.
sure.
You paved the way for us to get the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should thank me, Ash.
I do.
Ashley, you're a hipster kid.
And the other thing is for me definitely Pokemon Go. There's no way I can't mention Pokemon Go because when I jumped back on that at the start of the year after not playing it for a year and a half or whatever, I played it for 6 months when it first released and then dropped off. So I hadn't played it for a year and a half and got back into it and I was straight away shocked at how much more there was to do. And this is the funny thing because Cherie only started playing it this year, so I can't even explain how many differences there is because it's one of those things of there's so many small quality of life things that they've fixed that as soon as I open the game, I log back into my account, started up, I was like, holy fuck, there's a gym now at my work and all these sorts of things that had changed and all the Gen 2 and 3 Pokemon are in the game and their daily tasks to do. I'm like, oh, there's actually a game here now. There's a reason for me to want to play this. Fuck me. I'm so impressed.
Are you forever the gym leader of your work's gym?
I pretty much, whenever I'm at work, if I don't have it, I'm fighting for it, That's pretty much how that works. But yeah, I feel like it would be possible for me not to mention it because the amount of times I'll purposely just be like, Pokemon Go became my reason. I've done so much Exposure Network work the last couple of days, and I'd use it as an excuse. I'm like, I'll go just walk around town for 5 hours today, and I'll play Pokemon Go. It kind of gave me a good outlet excuse to want to give myself a break, I guess, and not just I'm done fucking editing or writing or whatever the fuck here. I'll just turn around in the exact same seat and play video games. It was a good get me outside kind of break thing and get my mind off where I could just concentrate on Pokemon and stuff. And I spent a lot of time playing it. I really enjoy it. It's got me doing lots of things. That's good. I play it every day because you got to get them stamps every day.
Yep.
If you want to get your reward
Yep.
boxes, you better be playing every day.
Yep.
I'm on the Reddits reading theories and whatever the fuck else and all these. I was reading a bunch of we talked about briefly last week, me and Ash, when Ash said PvP sucks. But when PvP was announced, I was reading fucking stat documents about how much damage per Pokemon depending on its. I was really into the minutiae of a lot of
This
stuff.
is your League of Legends side. This is your League of Legends side coming out here.
Yeah, well, some of it's really interesting. Even if I'm not going to be going around playing, I just find it interesting at the same time. So Pokemon Go I feel like definitely one of my biggest gaming loves this year besides PSVR. Very different gaming experiences. One, you put a fucking helmet on and sit in your living room. The other, you take your phone out and walk around. So it's one's actually real life and the game encourages you to get outside. The other one encourages you to go completely to a different world. So yeah, that's interesting. That's all we got for the show this week. That's been our wrap up of some of the biggest news stories and our loves and things and Christmas time celebrations. And we only talked about gaming, except for that one time. And I hope everyone tweets at Ciaran. And when I give him
just ask him about his shoes.
Just ask him about his shoes, please. So
I'll tweet a picture out when this episode comes.
You should. You definitely should.
I will. I'll take one after this.
Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other great shows, reviews, news, articles, and much more, including our best of 2018 content at the moment as we lead up to our best of games content, which will be in the last week of it all. Rate Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts to help out the show. Simply share it on social media with your friends. You can, of course, follow Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod and join our Discord going over to explosionnetwork.com/ Discord. Hopefully Discord's working when you decide to join, because the day we're recording this, it certainly fucking was not. You can follow me on Twitter at VivaLadil, VivaLadil. You can follow Ash on Twitter, ASHLEYHABLEY. You can follow Cherie on Twitter at Cherie CHERIACORNO. And you can follow Ciaran on Twitter at your boy Ringo. That's the one. Spell it how you sound it. I feel it's... Until next week, same time, same couch. It's a merry time of the year, and it's also a great time to start celebrating the best that 2018 had to offer from movies, games, and much more. Starting from the 24th of December through to mid-January, we'll be uploading top 10 lists for video games, movies, TV, music, and online media, with special episodes of Top 5 to break down the top 5 of each separate category and why we picked them and what we love about them. We'll also be releasing some more specific categories within each of those, like top 5 songs to pair with our top 10 albums lists, and discussing those on a separate bonus episode of top 5 as well. Then we'll have a special end of year episodes of Arcade Couch, Platinum Explosion, What Do You Want to Watch, and Early Late Nights, along with a bonus Bevan Beats to give you a plethora of best of 2018 content to listen to, read, and peruse at your own pleasure. Stay tuned to explosionnetwork.com/best of 2018 and our social medias on Twitter at explosionpod and facebook.com/explosionnetwork to make sure you don't miss a thing. Happy holidays, everyone. 3, 2, 1.
So you didn't even have your hands out. You just held them together until the last second.
I don't know how to do it, Ash.
I know, yeah.
What if you hold it in the same position? What if you hold it in the same position and just do the same kind of movement?
It's not the same. It's not anywhere near the same.
Oh dear.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's not. It's horrible. I don't
You're
like
just
it.
not holding it. Maybe, how about
making
you go find 2 pieces of wood and you just clack the wood together.